It's preparing itself.
Just like Andrew did. And then like Georgia, you want to hit the 6-figure mark, like $100,000. And then maybe you're really ambitious and you want to hit that $1 million mark just as multiple.
Where's that coming from?
I have no idea.
That is weird. All right. That is odd. Let me get this where I can welcome. All right. That is so odd. Yes, I understand that. All right. Are we still with me? No. I gotta get. Good afternoon. Welcome back to Passionate World Talk Radio, a wholly owned subsidiary of Global Media Network, LLC. Our motto is Educate, Enlighten, and Entertain. And today our special guest is Johanna Gonzales, who actually lives in two countries, well, actually two different types of countries within the United States. Florida, which is a state, of course, and Puerto Rico. So good afternoon and welcome to the show.
Hi, guys. I'm Johanna. How are you?
I am fine. So I'm going to let you tell the audience about yourself first in Spanish, so the Spanish-speaking folks can enjoy you, and then we'll go into American so the Americans can enjoy you.
Hola a todos, mi nombre es Johanna Gonzales, soy de Puerto Rico. Tengo una escuela de yoga acá que se llama Beyond Asana Yoga. También entenderse mejor para poder mejorar la calidad.
And that was that.
Did I lose you?
Yeah, you got cut off.
Hi, everyone. My name is Johanna, and I'm so happy to be here. I own a yoga school. It's called Bay Lifestyle, Beyond Asana Yoga. And it's all about empowerment, empowering people to become better and to elevate themselves to in self-experience and help each other be the best versions of ourselves.
And when you're not doing that, Johanna also runs retreats for people to come and take time off and smell the flowers or visit another country, as Puerto Rico is actually as part of the United States, but people look at it as another country. It's different from New England, I'll put it that way, or from California for that matter. So when you teach yoga, what are some of the principles that you're trying to get across to your people who sign up?
Well, the most important thing is that yoga is not necessarily a physical practice, although most people consider it that because that's what they know of yoga. The definition of yoga is yoga chitta vritta nirodha. That's Sanskrit for yoga is the cessation of the fluctuations of the mind. And the goal of yoga is us understand who we are, understand our mental patterns, and understand how we're showing up so that we can elevate our own experience and in turn elevate the experience of others.
So when you're going through the moves that you were shown, what kind of feeling do you try to inject into the participants so that they can flow in the right manner?
The most important thing is reminding them that yoga is about how you're breathing and how you are strengthening and or stretching your body. So just because you're doing a posture doesn't necessarily imply that you're doing yoga. Yoga is how the posture is done. If the posture is done with intention, you following your breath, and then noticing the limits of your body and noticing what comes up in your mind when you're being challenged in different ways, physically and mentally, due to the things that you're being required to do. So the yoga isn't the actual making the shape of the pose, but the things that come inside of you as you're creating that shape. So if you're merely just moving from one shape to another, that's really an exercise. To do yoga, there has to be an intention of how you are moving and what you are focusing on, which is how you're feeling inside, how you are challenging yourself mentally and physically.
So in other words, you really have to put your mind in the position of accepting what you're going to be doing with the rest of your body, so they're working as partners.
Correct. That's accepting the things that you can do and the things that you cannot do, and is accepting your experience for what it is, for the present moment, like for not what your expectations are or your judgments of it, but merely for what it is, and actually finding gratitude in it as well.
So when you see people sitting in a lotus position, is that considered a beginning step for somebody to get into the mental part of it before you introduce the physical part? Or is that a little bit beyond your first or second step in doing yoga for the first time?
Meditation is a style called, and we are stopping in your experience and your breath and in the movement. Whereas when you're in meditation, because the one and the breath in between your thoughts, sitting in a lowest position whatsoever. It's okay if you can't sit that way. That was for me.
We will be back momentarily. I'm interviewing Johanna from Puerto Rico.
And is that yourself to be in a space that's comfortable enough in your body so that your body doesn't take you out of the meditation. So if sitting cross-legged in lotus isn't comfortable, then that's not really going to be able to get you to meditate, because your body's going to be pulling you and making your thoughts go crazy, right? So it's your ability to find comfort in a position and then just notice the spaces between the thoughts in your mind.
So when you first start, then you should be doing some kind of meditation then to calm your mind and to be receptive to what you and your body are going to be doing.
Yeah, it's always good to kind of center for a minute, even in a yoga practice. When you walk into the room, like usually they have you kind of settle into the room before you start moving. So the first thing that you want to do, whether you're doing it just sitting down or on a yoga mat, is finding the awareness of your body and your breath. So first you find the place where you're going to start, and you notice how your body feels, right? You notice your body settling into the position or the shape that you place it in. Then from there, you begin to invite your eyes to close, and then you bring your awareness to the pattern of your breath. Now, if you're starting in meditation, it's easier if you control the pattern of the breath. So maybe you inhale for 4 and then you exhale for 4. Whereas in deeper states of meditation, or once you get a little bit more practice, you're able to just watch the breath as it is. And there's 2 things that you can watch. You can either actually follow the breath, so follow as the inhale fills in through the nose and expands your body. and then feel the exhale traveling out of the nose and contracting your body. Or you can focus in the slight pauses that happen in between the inhale and the exhale. They're just natural pauses that, like, the one side closed before the other one opens. And so as you get deeper into the practice, you kind of start understanding, like, which one of these techniques serve me, because not all of the techniques are going to be appropriate for everyone, but they're still available, right? So there's a lot of different things that we can try in order to make those things happen for ourselves, that we can actually start to control our mind. So the goal of meditation is just to be able to control the never-ending conversations of your mind. That's really the main.
Okay, I just want to make sure, because yoga is now being used as a exercise, and they bring their exercise mat, and you see them go into these contortions, I guess would probably be the best way I can describe it, but it doesn't really seem to have anything to do with what you're just explaining.
It doesn't. It absolutely doesn't. And it's truly a disservice to humanity that yoga has been diminished to exercise, because yoga is a 5,000-year-old philosophy that's been around way before the Bible, 25,000 or 2,500 years before the Bible. And it's got all of the instructions that somebody needs to live a peaceful and well-adjusted life. And yoga is lifestyle. It isn't something that happens on your mat. The thing is that on our mat, we can practice yoga, and we can use it as a reflection to what happens in our lives. So, for example, if you're the type of person that's super competitive in life and always pushes to the limit, you're going to go into a yoga room and you're not even going to care how long people have been practicing. You're going to try to do whatever everybody else is doing, not even taking into account that some of those people could have been practicing 10 years. And the next day, it's going to be really hard to walk. You're going to be in a lot of pain, you're very sore. And the other side of that, if you're someone who doesn't like to try anything new, the teacher suggests a pose, and instead of trying, you're automatically going to think, I don't think I have that. I'm not even going to give it a try. What we choose to do on our mat is a reflection of what we choose to do when we're faced with opportunities in our lives. So the yoga mat is a really amazing space for you to get to know your patterns and get to know how you show up. But it is the only place where you want to do yoga. In fact, it's, if you think about it, you're maybe on your yoga mat an hour a day. What happened with the other 23 hours? To take those things that you're putting in play and learning about yourself on the mat and starting to apply them to everything that you do in life and to how you approach life, so that you start to be more in the present moment, start to be less attached to things that you expect or judge. And that's really what yoga tries to teach us. There's principles in yoga called the yamas and niyamas. And they're basically the commandments of yoga. And it's 2 out of the 8 basically steps, limbs as they're called, that you travel during this style of yoga in order to reach what's called Samadi. And Samadi, which is the 8th limb, is freedom. It's oneness. Understand that this is an illusion of duality, but we're still just experience, and there's only one experience, and there's only one consciousness. And that's what yoga starts to uncover for the human. So it can start on the yoga mat, but as a teacher, my job as I'm leading a physical yoga class is to say and talk enough about the deeper aspects of the practice so that the student starts to get curious and starts to want to learn more and discover how this could impact them at a deeper level.
Okay, so instead of going over to Google to find out how to do yoga, or pick up a handy dandy book from Amazon Prime or Barnes & Noble for that matter, who should they contact, and how do they talk to you about wanting to explore yoga, to use it, say, I am so addicted to my cell phone or laptop that I'm spending 23 out of the 24 hours, or when I finish on that and I get home, I get the shakes. So what do you tell them?
That they have to start with one thing at a time, and getting to know yourself is going to help you understand why those things are happening and why you're being attached to those things. But it takes you making that choice first. You know, not everyone is ready. It's like my mother was an alcoholic and I tried to help her. I didn't help her get sober. She got sober when she decided to get sober, years after I tried to help her, because it wasn't up to me, it was up to her. And even though I offered the tools, she wasn't ready. So when the person is ready, you can call me for 8150-570. You can always give a call. I would love to talk to you about yoga, no strings attached, for as long as you want me to. And if they do want to go and go on Amazon or Barnes and Nobles, there's a book called The Yoga Sutras of Patanjali. And you can even find PDFs that are free on it. Like if you just search Yoga Sutras of Patanjali translation PDF, you'll find a few of them. There are a lot of different translations, just like there are of the Bible, right? Any old book that's written in language is going to have translations that are very much translator and their feeling about what they're reading. So you can read different translations of it, but it will give you a broader scope of what yoga is. It'll teach you those 8 limbs, really teach you what the power is, which is non-attachment, to be the observer of what's happening in this human experience instead of being so attached to thinking that it's happening to you. You're just acting. There's nothing happening to you, there's just happening. And it's up to you to decide whether you want to attach to it, and then how that affects you will be based on your conditioning, your DNA, and how you're showing up.
That sounds like really good advice. So, ladies and gentlemen, if you're interested in becoming involved with yoga, I do suggest you follow up on Johanna's I'm sorry, I'm just blocking out. Go and look up on Google where you can find the translation of the book and go and read it. But the first thing you have to do, as Mr. Shakespeare keeps on telling you, is to thy own self be true. So you first have to find the truth of who you are. And then when you recognize it, then make the choice to do something about what's ailing you, because you are going to be different and how you handle or cope than someone down the street named John Smith, for example, or
Correct.
Johanna Smith.
Yeah, the fluctuations of the mind are unique to the mind. Therefore, there's 8 billion fluctuations to the mind, right? And we have daily ones, and some of them are repetitive and some of them come in patterns. So as we get to know ourselves, not only can we become more well-adjusted and notice where there's room for growth, but then also we can start to accept things about ourselves that maybe we can't change, things about our personality, things about how we view maybe the world or how we react to certain things. But then you can also forgive yourself, right? When you feel these reactions coming that you're working on and you're growing from, when you see those patterns show up, you can recognize them and forgive yourself and just know that we're all here to be work in progress. We're here to walk each other home, to remind each other of our divinity and our gifts and our beauty, instead of to put each other down and to make each other feel like we're not good enough. Like right now, everyone's reflecting on each other what they're feeling. Therefore, you know that there's a lot of pain, because if a lot of pain is being dished out, that means there's a lot of pain being felt inside. And yoga is a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful path to help you not only understand your pain, but understand how you're sharing it with others and affecting others' pain, so that you can start reversing that healing, so that the energy that you share in the world heals. Because it's up to you. Nothing changes because you want it to change. You change and then everything changes. But
you have to make
just
the choice.
Exactly. Yeah, that choice will create that change. And there's got to be a lot of dedication involved in that, because it doesn't happen overnight. it took years for you to develop your personality and become who you are, and it's gonna take practice and time and patience to develop the person that you're becoming.
Do you have any final tips that you would like to share with the audience about if they're, once they make up their mind, how they can, while they're waiting, either to call you or get up the nerve to call you, something that maybe they can use to calm themselves down, or a mantra that they can say to themselves that will spur them on to take further action?
Absolutely. So I'm going to share, I love Mel Robbins, and she has this method. And when those thoughts come to your mind that are the thoughts that you're attempting to grow from, you go 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and then you put the ideas and the thoughts that you want in your mind. Now, the caveat to that is that first you have to sit with yourself and, what do I want my thoughts to be? Where do I want my intention to be? Where do I want my focus to be? And once you determine that place, you create that thought that Mel Robbins wants you to put in there, so that you have a way to start shifting your thought patterns to defaulting to these other thoughts. The more clear your focus is and the thought that you want in your mind is, the more easily you're going to be able to implement it, because the more clear your mind will become on what it is that you want, and the universe then.
Thank you very much. And thank you all very much for listening to us today, ladies and gentlemen, to Cool Your Heels with host Lillian Caldwell on PWR Talk Network, Passionate World Talk Radio Network, part of Global Media Network. Please contact Johanna Gonzales. As what's your phone number?
815-501-5070 or bay-lifestyle.com.
Great. And if you speak Spanish, she will be more than delighted to speak Spanish with you as well. English is just not the only language people use these days. And you can listen to this video over again on youtube.com/PWR network _PW Talk Radio. Also on Facebook.com/Passionate World Radio. Also on LinkedIn.com on Passionate World Talk Radio. Thank you all very much for listening. And thank you very much for joining us. Have a great day.
Have a great day.